A black widow's savings stolen by cops. Her soldier son seeks justice. Will truth prevail? Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for our latest videos. Don't miss this saga of a matriarch's redemption. This stolen, Granny Officer Carl Evans's voice cut like a jagged blade through the midday clamor outside the bank, his white hand snatching a tattered envelope from Esther Williams, a black widow whose silver hair gleamed against her vibrant yellow blazer and skirt, the bold hue a defiant banner of her indomitable spirit, unyielding even as betrayal loomed. The envelope, bulging with her life savings to restore her crumbling home, tore under Evans's ruthless grip, bills scattering like dying leaves across the cracked sidewalk, each dollar a shard of her dream to honor the memory of her husband and 2 sons, all lost to war's merciless jaws. Esther, a matriarch forged in the crucible of sacrifice, stood resolute, her eyes slicing through the shock, her voice a steady thunder. That's mine. Earned through decades of toil, give it back. Her plea, a flare of dignity. But Officer Michael Holt's laugh was a venomous wound, his shove crashing her frail frame to the pavement. Don't play the saint. Hag, the force splintering her knees, a sharp cry ripping from her lips as her hips struck concrete, her yellow attire streaking with grime, a crowd bank patrons, vendors, passers-by freezing, their murmurs, she's up to no good. Why carry all that cash a poisonous tide? Their phones raised, but their courage vanished, filming a widow's ruin with the cold apathy of voyeurs. Evans towered over her, stuffing the money into his pocket. We're seizing this suspected contraband, his lie a sledgehammer. Holt's boot grazing her ribs. Get up. Stop faking it. Their brutality a public guillotine, blind to the truth that Evans, a boy orphaned by war, had been dragged from a blazing inferno by Esther's husband, Samuel, a debt obliterated in the sneer twisting his face. His betrayal a knife plunged deep into her soul. Esther's hands clawed the asphalt, her yellow blazer a beacon of resilience, her voice a quaking roar. You're robbing a soldier's widow. But Holt's shove was merciless. Shut your mouth, or we cuff you. The threat a barbed whip, the crowd's silence a deeper scourge, a bystander muttering, she's too old for this mess, their complicity a chain heavier than the pain searing her side. Across the street, Nathan Williams, Esther's 3rd son, a special forces soldier honed by the shadows of covert wars, stood cloaked in a worn jacket, his lean frame a coiled viper, his dark eyes molten with anguish, his phone's camera capturing every frame Evans' theft, Holt's assault, his mother's crumpled form, his heart a furnace of grief and vengeance, his silence a weapon sharpened by years of stealth, his love for Esther, widow of his heroic father, mother of his martyred brothers, a sacred oath to avenge her honor. Nathan, a specter in the crowd, recorded the officer's smirks, the scattered bills, Esther's trembling rise, his training a veil, his video a dynamite charge poised to detonate, his mother sacrificed decades of solitude, never begging for aid a shrine he'd defend with his blood. The crowd's apathy was a palpable weight, their whispers weaving a net of prejudice. She shouldn't flaunt that money. Looks like trouble, their eyes darting away, refusing to meet Esther's gaze. Their inaction, a betrayal that cut deeper than the gravel embedded in her palms. A woman muttering, she's asking for it, dressed like that. The judgment a lash against her vibrant yellow attire, a color chosen to honor Samuel's love for brightness, now a canvas of her defiance. Esther struggled upright, her yellow skirt ripped at the seam, her hands quivering. God sees your sin. Her words a molten vow. Evans scoffing. Save your prayers. Crone pocketing the last bill with a sneer. Holt's final push knocking her back. Get lost, or you're done. Their patrol car peeling away with a screech that echoed like a war cry, leaving the crowd to scatter. Some filming, others hissing. She brought it on herself. Their prejudice a scourge that couldn't break her resilient spirit, her radiant dignity shining through the dirt on her blazer, a beacon no betrayal could dim. Esther stood alone, her envelope a hollow husk, her eyes glistening but fierce. The weight of her loss is Samuel, her sons, now her savings a cross she bore with iron resolve. Unaware Nathan had captured it all, his video a spark that would set the precinct ablaze, his mission a covenant expose the traitors, restore his mother's honor, and topple the system that dared to defile her. Nathan shadowed the patrol car, his steps of predators, his phone a locked vault, the footage a spear he'd hurl, Esther's legacy at a widow who'd given everything, a matriarch whose strength never wavered a flame he'd carry into battle, his special forces grit a phantom ready to strike, his heart pounding with the rhythm of retribution, each beat a vow to make Evans and Holt pay for their treachery. The bank's glass facade loomed behind, its polished surface reflecting the crowd's retreat, a silent witness to the crime, but the air thrummed with the pulse of justice, a betrayal that had birthed a holy war. Esther's dignity and Nathan's wrath, a clarion that would rend the silence, a truth poised to unveil a system's rot and force it to its knees. Esther limped toward a home, her yellow attire a defiant glow in the fading light, her heart a quiet tempest. The memory of her family's sacrifices a steel spine, her resolve an unyielding vow to endure. Unaware Nathan's video was already in motion, sent to Marcus Tate with a single command, make them pay a widow's honor, rising to reclaim what treachery had stolen. A reckoning that would sear the conscience of a nation and echo through the ages. The dim glow of a single bulb bathed Esther Williams's weathered kitchen, casting long shadows across peeling wallpaper, where faded photos of her husband, Samuel, and their two sons, lost to war, hung like silent sentinels, their eyes seeming to guard her as she sat at a splintered table, her yellow blazer stained with the bank's dirt, her silver hair a stark contrast to the gloom, her hands trembling around a chipped mug of tea, the theft of her life savings a fresh scar on a heart already carved by loss. Esther, a black widow whose resilient spirit had weathered decades of grief, stared at the torn envelope, its emptiness a cruel echo of the robbery by officers Carl Evans and Michael Holt. Her voice a soft murmur. I just wanted to mend this house for them. Her gaze lingering on Samuel's photo, unaware that her third son, Nathan, a special forces soldier, had recorded the assault, his video a spark now racing to kindle a firestorm of justice. Nathan stood in the hallway's shadows, his lean frame taut as a bowstring, his dark eyes smoldering with a fury tempered by discipline, his phone clutched like a loaded weapon, the footage of Evans's theft and Holt's shove replaying in his mind, each frame a lash against his soul. His mother's fall in her radiant yellow attire, a wound he had cauterized with retribution. He'd slipped from this bank unseen, his covert training a cloak, sending the video to Marcus Tate, a civil rights lawyer who'd handled Samuel's veteran benefits. With a terse command and expose them, and Nathan's vow was forged in the crucible of his family's sacrifices, his father's death in Vietnam, his brothers in Iraq, Esther's silent endurance a legacy he'd defend, her honor a flame he'd carry into the heart of the enemy. The precinct hummed with a deceptive calm, officers oblivious to the gathering storm, but Evans and Holt, back at their desks, smirked over stale coffee, Evans tossing the stolen bills into a locker. Old lady's got no fight, his voice dripping with contempt. Holt nodding. She's alone, blind to the truth that Evans, as a boy, owed his life to Samuel, a debt buried in his callous greed, their theft a betrayal that would soon unravel. Marcus received Nathan's video, his breath catching as he watched Esther's collapse, his office a command post as he verified her identity, a widow of a decorated soldier, mother of martyrs, a woman who'd never sought charity despite her losses, her resilience a quiet monument. He contacted a network of activists, leaking the video to journalist Sarah Nguyen, whose post Police Rob Black Widow detonated online, amassing millions of views within hours. Hashtag Justice for Esther trending as public outrage surged. Black and Latino communities rallying outside the precinct. Their signs honor our widows. Thieves in uniform, a rising tempest, joined by white allies and veterans, their chants shaking the dusk. A white ex-soldier roaring, "She's our hero's widow." The precinct's brass scrambled. The videos spread, forcing a tepid response. The chief's internal review a flimsy shield. But Evans and Holt, holed up in a back office, seethed. Evans' face pale. "She's nobody, just an old fool." His denial a fragile armor. Holt's eyes darting. "If that video sticks, we're done." Unaware Nathan's footage was a guillotine, their betrayal a fuse burning toward catastrophe. Esther, oblivious to the video's reach, sat in her kitchen, her fingers tracing a faded letter from Samuel. His words of love, a shield against the pain in her hip. Her resolve, a steel core. "I won't let them steal my spirit." Her voice a whisper, her faith an unyielding anchor. The house's groans a chorus of her lost family, her dream to restore it a prayer for their memory. Nathan stepped forward, his presence a quiet hurricane, his voice soft but resolute. "Mama, they'll answer for this." His hand on her shoulder, a soldier's oath. Esther's eyes meeting his. "Keep your heart pure." Nathan, her wisdom a beacon through the gathering storm. His mission clear to wield the truth as a blade against those who dared defile her. Marcus called Nathan, his tone urgent. The video's viral, but their circling stay low, prompting Nathan to secure the house. His special forces instincts razor sharp. The glint of a knife from a past mission in his mind. A reminder of the peril. His mother's safety, a line he'd die to defend. The public's fury swelled. Veterans groups joining the protests. A black elder's voice thundering. "Esther's our mother." Sparking #honor Esther to dominate. But whispers of a cover-up stirred union officials plotting in secret. Their plan to discredit the video, a dark veil. A precinct clerk pressured to lose Esther's complaint. The threat a tightening noose. Esther gazed at Samuel's photo, her heart heavy. "I never wanted this war." Her voice a quiet lament. Her resolve to endure a fire that burned brighter. Her silence a shield for Nathan, unaware his investigation was peeling back the past, a truth that would crack the precinct wide open. The protests a clarion that would either unveil justice or face a system's desperate wrath, a soldier's vow to shield a matriarch's honor against a tide of lies. And the lamplight in Esther Williams's creaking kitchen cast a frail glow across a splintered table, where a yellowed letter lay open, its faded ink a haunting bridge to a past that surged like a specter. The words of her late husband, Samuel, stirring a tempest in the heart of the black widow whose resilient spirit burned beneath her silver hair. Her yellow blazer folded nearby, its dirt a badge of the bank robbery that had stripped her savings and bruised her body. Esther's fingers traced Samuel's script, a 1968 note recounting a boy he'd saved from a wartime fire. A boy named Carl, the same Carl Evans who'd robbed and shoved her. His betrayal a wound sharper than the ache in her hip. Her voice a whisper. "He doesn't know me, Samuel, but I carry you." Her eyes glistening. Her resolve an unyielding flame. The crumbling house around her, a sanctuary of her lost husband and sons. Its groaning beams echoing her silent sacrifice. Nathan Williams, her special forces son, stood in the doorway, his lean frame a taut bowstring, his dark eyes smoldering with a rage honed by discipline, his phone a vault holding the video of Evans and Officer Michael Holt's assault, his heart a crucible of duty, his discovery of Evans's past a spark that would set the precinct ablaze, his voice low but fierce. "He owes you his life, Mama, and he'll pay for spitting on it." His vow to expose Evans a sacred oath. Esther's honor, a legacy forged in the sacrifices of his father and brothers, lost to war. The precinct was a fortress under fire. Officers rattled as the viral video #JusticeForEsther, trending with 12 million views, forced a response. The chief's internal review, a paper shield. But Evans and Holt, barricaded in a locker room, seethed. Evans's face ashen. She's nobody, an old widow. His denial a crumbling wall. Holt's eyes darting. That video's our grave. Unaware Nathan's footage was a noose tightening, their betrayal a fuse burning toward catastrophe. Marcus Tate, the family's lawyer, worked tirelessly, verifying Esther's identity, a widow of a decorated soldier, mother of martyrs. Her resilience a silent monument, his call to journalist Sarah Nguyen amplifying the video. Her article detailing Esther's losses sparking outrage. Black and Latino communities rallying outside the precinct. Their signs honor Esther. Evans the traitor joined by veterans. A white ex-Marine roaring. She's our widow, sparking #honor Esther to dominate. Veteran groups vowing to guard her home. Their solidarity a bulwark. Esther, unaware of the article's reach, found the letter in a dusty box, her hands trembling as she read Samuel's words. Saved a boy today, Carl. Hope he grows strong. Her heart twisting with irony, her voice a quiet lament. He grew to wound me. Her faith a steel core, her resolve to endure a fire that burned fiercer. Her silence a strategy to shield Nathan, oblivious that his investigation had unearthed Evans's past, a truth that would shatter the precinct's core. Nathan confronted Evans at a precinct alley, his frame a shadow, his voice a controlled storm. You're the boy my father saved, Carl Evans. 1968 fire. His words a lightning strike. Evans' face draining, his denial sharp. You're insane, I don't know her. His shout cracking, his shove pushing Nathan back. She's a troublemaker with no proof. The lie a frantic barricade. But Nathan's eyes blazed. Her truth will bury you. His video already with Marcus. A blade poised to carve justice. The investigation gained traction. Internal Affairs, Lieutenant David Kim, reviewing the video. His findings damning Evans's 4 prior complaints. 3 for excessive force, buried by Union allies. Holt's record mirroring the pattern. The evidence a growing inferno. But Captain Laura Gaines's team hacked a news server, nearly erasing the video, stopped only by Marcus's encrypted backup. FBI agent Carla Reyes seizing the precinct's drives. Her warning urgent. They're targeting Esther's story brace for worse. The precinct's pushback escalated. Gaines leaking a forged photo of Esther hiding cash. The lie fueling talk radio to slam her as a scheming fossil. But veterans countered, sharing Samuel's service record. Their voices a chorus. She's our matriarch. The protest turned chaotic. A precinct fence toppled. Police batons clashing with counter-protesters' bricks. The air a battlefield. CNN framing Esther as a beacon. Nathan's video a global icon. But threats surged, a note slipped under Esther's door. Stay quiet, or you're dead. Her heart racing but her voice firm. I've faced worse. Her indomitable spirit a shield. Her alliance with Nathan a fortress. Nathan watched her, his heart a knot of awe and dread, his video a clarion. Sarah's article a spear. The bank a crucible where betrayal had sparked a holy war. Esther's honor a legacy he'd fight to reclaim. The whispers of truth, a firestorm poised to unveil justice or face a system's desperate wrath. A soldier's vow, a blade against a tide of lies. The past a specter demanding its reckoning. The fight for a widow's honor, a battle that would echo through the ages. The sagging floorboards of Esther Williams' kitchen groaned under the weight of her solitude. The faded wallpaper curling around photos of her husband, Samuel, and their sons, their faces a silent vigil as she sat at a splintered table, her silver hair catching the candle's flicker, her yellow blazer folded nearby, its dirt a stark reminder of the bank robbery that had stolen her savings and bruised her body, her resilient spirit a flame no treachery could douse. Esther's fingers traced a photo of Samuel, her heart heavy with the irony of Officer Carl Evans, the boy he'd saved from a 1968 fire. Now the man who'd robbed her, his betrayal a wound deeper than the ache in her hip. Her voice a quiet lament. You gave him life, Samuel, and he took mine. Her resolve an unyielding fire, the crumbling house a shrine to her endurance, its peeling paint echoing her unspoken grief. Nathan Williams, her special forces son, stood in the shadows, his lean frame a coiled whip, his dark eyes burning with a rage tempered by discipline, his phone a vault of the video Evans theft, Holt's shove, Esther's fall his heart a crucible of duty, his discovery of Evans' past a spark that fueled his vow to restore his mother's honor, a legacy forged in the sacrifices of his father and brothers, lost to war. Nathan had allied with journalist Sarah Nguyen, whose viral article had made #Justice for Esther a global cry. His voice low. The letters our weapon break them with it. His hand on Esther's shoulder a soldier's oath. Her nod a quiet trust. Stay righteous. Nathan. Her wisdom a beacon through the storm. The precinct was a fortress under siege. Officers rattled as the videos reached 15 million views, forced a response. The chief's ongoing investigation, a flimsy barricade. But Evans and Officer Michael Holt, holed up in a back office. Seethed. Evans's face pale. She's just an old widow. No one'll care. His denial fraying. Holt's eyes darting. That video's our coffin. Unaware Nathan's footage was a noose tightening. Their betrayal a fuse burning toward detonation. Captain Laura Gaines, a Union hardliner, met in a shadowed precinct room. Her voice a venomous hiss. Smear her paint, her a crook. Her order to leak lies a desperate bid to douse the fire. A forged bank statement hitting a right-wing blog, claiming Esther laundered money. The lie a toxic sting, shared millions of times, fueling counter-protests. White crowds waving thin blue line flags, shouting cops aren't thieves. Their clashes with Esther's supporters sparking brawls. Police lines buckling, the air a spark from anarchy. Sarah's next article, published at midnight, was a bombshell, detailing Samuel's letter and Evans' rescue. Her words, a hero's widow robbed by the boy he saved, igniting a surge of support. Black and Latino communities flooding the bank's steps. Their signs, honor Esther. Evans the traitor joined by veterans. A white ex-Marine roaring. She's our widow sparking #honor Esther to dominate. Veteran groups pledging to guard her home. Their solidarity a shield. Esther, unaware of the article's reach, sat with the letter, her heart heavy. I never wanted this fight. Her voice a quiet vow, but her resolve burned, her faith an unyielding anchor. The house's creaks a chorus of her lost family. Her dream to restore it a prayer she'd not forsake. Nathan met Sarah at a safe house, his voice urgent. Push the letter, Shatter Evans. His special forces instincts razor sharp. A dagger delivered to Esther's door that morning, a blade wrapped in a note. Keep quiet. Widow a threat that chilled his blood. His call to Marcus Tate swift. Triple her security. His mother's safety a line he'd killed to defend. The investigation intensified. Internal Affairs, Lieutenant David Kim, uncovering a 2016 assault by Holt on a black elder. The complaint buried by Gaines, now under scrutiny. The evidence a growing blaze. But Gaines's team hacked a news server, nearly wiping Sarah's files. Stopped by Nathan's encrypted backup. FBI agent Carla Reyes seizing the precinct's drives. Her warning stark. They're targeting Esther Brace for retaliation. The precinct's smear campaign escalated. Gaines leaking a doctored photo of Esther hiding cash. The lie fueling talk radio to slam her as a scheming relic. But veterans countered. Sharing Samuel's service record, their voices a chorus. She's our matriarch. The protest turned volatile. A precinct window shattered. Police batons clashing with counter-protesters' bricks. The air a battlefield. CNN framing Esther as a symbol. Nathan's video a global icon. But threats surged a note to Esther. You're dead. Her heart racing but her voice firm. I've faced worse. Her indomitable spirit a beacon, her alliance with Nathan, Marcus, and Sarah a fortress. Nathan watched her, his heart a nod of awe and fear, his video a clarion, Sarah's article a spear, the bank a crucible where betrayal had sparked a holy war, Esther's honor a legacy he'd fight to reclaim, the whispers of truth a firestorm poised to unveil justice or face a system's desperate wrath, a soldier's vow a blade against a tide of lies, the past a specter demanding its due. The courtroom's oak-paneled walls pulsed with the weight of a moral reckoning, their polished grain reflecting the packed gallery's fevered anticipation as the trial of officers Carl Evans and Michael Holt unfolded. Their robbery and assault of Esther Williams outside the bank, a black widow's savings stolen. Her body bruised now, a searing wound bared by Nathan's video, a special forces soldier whose footage had set a nation's conscience ablaze. Esther sat at the plaintiff's table, her silver hair a regal crown, her yellow blazer a radiant emblem of her resilient spirit, her eyes steady despite the lingering pain in her hip, her voice a quiet thunder as she prepared to testify, her heart anchored by the memory of her husband, Samuel, and their sons, lost to war, her resolve a flame fueled by Nathan's vow to restore her honor. The gallery hummed with activists, veterans, and reporters, their phones poised, while outside, protests swelled, thousands chanting #HonorEsther, Black and Latino voices joined by white allies. Their signs, justice for Esther, Evans the traitor, a defiant tide, the bank's shadow a rallying cry. Marcus Tate, Esther's lawyer, stood beside her, his briefcase bristling with evidence Nathan's video, Samuel's letter, precinct complaint logs, his voice a low growl, will make their shame eternal. But the defense, led by union lawyer Victor Crane, was a venomous serpent, his opening a vicious strike. Mrs. Williams concocted this to defame honorable officers, a manipulative widow chasing sympathy, his words a dagger, the gallery gasping, Esther's jaw tightening, her eyes blazing, the lie a spark threatening to obscure the truth. Nathan took the stand, his soldier's frame unyielding, his voice a controlled tempest. I saw them rob my mother, shove her down. This is the proof. His video playing on a screen, Evans' theft, Holt's assault, Esther's fall, a visceral blow that silenced the room. But Crane lunged. You doctored this, didn't you? To frame innocent cops, the accusation a lash, Nathan's eyes narrowing. Every pixel is truth, you can't bury her. His courage a spark. Esther's nod a lifeline, the crowd murmuring support. A black veteran whispering, he's Samuel's blood. Marcus unveiled Samuel's letter, reading aloud, saved a boy, Carl, from the fire, 1968, his voice a thunderclap, the gallery erupting, Evans' face ashen, his denial I don't know her shattering, Holt's eyes darting, the truth a tightening noose, Crane's objection, irrelevant, overruled. The judge's gavel a hammer. Esther testified, her voice a quiet blaze. They stole my savings, my hope to fix my home, but they can't take my spirit. Her words tracing her loss as Samuel, her sons, her decades alone laying bare her sacrifice. I never asked for pity, but I demand justice. Her testimony a clarion, veteran standing, a white ex-soldier shouting, she's our widow, the crowd roaring, tears streaming, Crane's smear, she's milking her grief, faltering as a veteran witness. Colonel James Reed confirmed Samuel's heroism. He saved Carl Evans. I saw it, his voice a boulder, the courtroom a crucible of conscience. The prosecution, led by AD Rachel Kim, piled on 6 complaints against Evans, against Holt, buried by Union allies. A 2019 assault on a black elder erased, the records a blazing indictment. But Crane produced a forged witness, a bank teller claiming Esther acted suspiciously, The lie debunked when Marcus showed time-stamped footage contradicting her. The judge's gavel slamming. Order. The investigation escalated. Internal affairs. Lieutenant David Kim uncovering a precinct plot to shred Esther's complaint, thwarted by FBI agent Carla Reyes, who seized a union server, her warning dire. They're planning retaliation, guard Esther. That night, Esther's home was attacked, masked figures smashing a window, aiming to torch Samuel's letter. Stopped when Nathan, patrolling with a soldier's instincts, tackled him. The attacker fleeing, a note left behind. You're dead. Widow. Carla's team tracing it to a union operative, now arrested. The threat a noose tightening. Esther clutched the letter, her voice calm. They can't erase Samuel. Her resilient spirit a beacon, her faith a rock. Nathan's arm around her. We're stronger. Mama, his vow a steel core, their bond a citadel. The protests surged, veterans forming a protective ring around Esther's home, a black pastor's voice thundering, she's our matriarch. Sparking Williams' act to trend, but the union fought back, leaking a doctored audio of Esther threatening Evans. The lie exposed by Carla's forensics, their desperation a crack in their armor, the Acts Council vote looming. Nathan met Marcus and Sarah Nguyen. His voice urgent, push the letter, break Evans. His special forces instincts razor sharp, a knife from his last mission in his pocket, a reminder of the peril. The bank a crucible where betrayal had sparked a war. Esther's honor, a legacy he had died to defend. The whispers of truth, a firestorm poised to unveil justice or face a system's desperate wrath. A soldier's vow, a blade against a tide of lies. The past a specter demanding its reckoning. The fight for a widow's honor, a battle that would echo through time. The courtroom's air was a furnace of justice won, its oak benches trembling as Judge Evelyn Harper's gavel crashed, her voice a guillotine. Officers Carl Evans and Michael Holt are guilty of robbery, assault, and abuse of power. The verdict a thunderbolt that shattered the precinct's corrupt heart. The gallery exploding in cheers, veterans leaping to their feet, a black elder shouting, Esther's honor prevails, Esther Williams, the black widow whose indomitable spirit had endured the bank's betrayal, sat at the plaintiff's table, her silver hair a halo, her yellow blazer a radiant banner, her eyes glistening but resolute, the bruise on her hip a fading scar of Evans' and Holt's cruelty. Her heart lifted by the triumph, her testimony a widow's saga of loss and resilience having burned through the court's conscience. Nathan Williams, her special forces son, stood beside her, his lean frame a steadfast shield, his dark eyes a storm of pride and vigilance. His video, the searing footage of Evans' theft and Holt's shove a blade that had carved this day. His vow to restore his mother's honor, rooted in her decades of silent sacrifice for a husband and sons lost to war. Now a flame that lit the nation. The judge ordered Evans and Holt to pay substantial restitution and issue a public apology. Their faces pale. Evans' denial. I didn't know her collapsing under Samuel's letter. Revealed in court as proof he had been saved by Esther's husband. His betrayal a wound laid bare. Hours later, the Williams Act passed in a unanimous council vote, a law mandating transparent citizen checks and bias training. Its approval a seismic victory, live streamed to millions. #Honor Esther surging, a Latina veteran's voice roaring. This is Esther's blood. But the triumph was a spark in a tinderbox Evans' allies. A rogue precinct faction unleashed a vicious retribution, their wrath a tempest that would test the movement's steel. That night, Esther's home was besieged, a masked figure dousing its porch with gasoline, a match flaring to erase the letter and her legacy. But Nathan, patrolling with a soldier's instincts, spotted the glow. His bellow stopped a thunderclap, tackling the arsonist as flames licked the wood. FBI agent Carla Reyes' team, alerted by a whistleblower, storming in, dousing the fire, cuffing the attacker. a union operative. His confession exposing a plot to torch the widow's truth, a note left behind. "You're done, Esther," Carla's voice grim, their desperate brace for more. Esther stood on her porch, her yellow skirt catching the starlight, her voice calm. "They can't burn my resolve." Her resilient spirit a beacon. Nathan's arm around her. "We're unbreakable." Mama, his vow a steel core, their bond a citadel. The precinct was a fractured battlefield. Officers reeling, some, moved by the verdict, joined Sarah Kim's reform training, while Evans' allies faced a ban on suspension, their unions protests. This is a witch hunt fading as public outrage overwhelmed them. Right-wing media's lies. Williams is a fraud losing ground. Chad Williams act dominating. Internal affairs. Lieutenant David Kim's probe deepened, uncovering a 2014 theft by Holt from a black vendor, buried by Captain Laura Gaines, now arrested. The evidence fueling federal charges. But a darker threat loomed. Carla intercepted a union plan to silence Esther, their desperation a tightening noose. Evans, called to testify, broke under the weight, his voice quavering. "I was the boy Samuel saved. I didn't know it was her." His confession, a bombshell, tears streaming as he faced Esther. "I'm sorry." His redemption, the fragile thread. Prince's defense. He's repentant, met with Esther's steady gaze. "You stole more than money." Her words a scalpel. The gallery hushed, a black veteran whispering, "She's our rock." The prosecution, led by Ada Rachel Kim, piled on 9 complaints against Evans, 7 against Holt, buried by Gaines's allies. The records a blazing indictment. The apology broadcast live. Millions watching. A white ex-soldier shouting, "Esther's our widow." The protests surged. Veterans encircling Esther's home. A black pastor's voice thundering, "She's our matriarch." But violence flared, counter-protesters torching a protest banner, police lines buckling, the air a war zone, CNN framing Esther as a titan, Nathan's video a global icon, but threats intensified. A knife mailed to Marcus' office, a note to Esther, "You'll pay." She held it, her voice stone. "I've faced death before." Her indomitable spirit a shield. Nathan's eyes fierce. They're finished. His special forces resolve a blade. Esther met with Sarah Nguyen, her voice soft. Let Samuel's story endure. Her alliance with Nathan, Marcus, Sarah, and Carla. A rock. The bank a crucible where betrayal had sparked a war. Esther's honor, a legacy Nathan would die to defend. The Williams Act at dawn, but the fight burned on. Evans' redemption a flicker. His old allies plotting in shadows. Esther and Nathan's courage a flame poised to burn through a system's lies or face a final, deadly reckoning. Their movement a firestorm ready to reshape justice or be consumed by the vengeance of those it had toppled. The whispers of truth a clarion that demanded redemption and delivered retribution. A widow's honor, a legacy that would not be silenced. The precinct's iron gates stood like a weathered bastion, their shadows dwarfed by the sprawling parking lot where a stage rose, draped in banners for the Williams Act ceremony. A blazing testament to Esther Williams's unyielding spirit, her yellow blazer a radiant symbol as she prepared to speak, her silver hair catching the dawn's first light. The robbery of her savings, an assault on her body, now a triumph that had reshaped a nation's moral core. Nathan Williams, her special forces son, stood as her sentinel, his lean frame a silent bulwark, his dark eyes sweeping the crowd of thousands veterans, activists, families chanting, "Hat honor Esther," their signs a sea of hope. His phone no longer a weapon, but a relic of the video that had exposed officers Carl Evans and Michael Holt. Their convictions a public reckoning. Evans's courtroom confession, "I was the boy Samuel saved," a fragile thread of redemption, now imperiled by a final, catastrophic betrayal. The Williams Act, mandating transparent citizen checks and bias training, was law, its passage a monument to Esther's resilient legacy, a widow who'd lost husband and sons to war. Her honor restored through Nathan's fight, but a lethal plot threatened to darken the dawn. Rogue Union officials, led by Captain Laura Gaines, had hidden a bomb beneath the stage, aiming to assassinate Esther and Nathan, framing their movement as chaos, a desperate bid to extinguish the reform they'd sparked. Hours before the ceremony, as Esther rehearsed her speech in her creaking kitchen, a black van prowled her street, its tires screeching, a Molotov cocktail shattering against her porch, flames licking the wood before Nathan doused them. His roar, "Get back!" A thunderclap, his special forces instincts razor sharp, the attacker fleeing, a note left in the ashes, "You'll burn." Widow, FBI agent Carla Reyes's team, typied by a precinct whistleblower, tracing it to Gaines's operative. Her warning dire, "They're planning a bigger strike, brace yourself." Esther stood firm, her yellow skirt catching the moonlight, her voice a quiet vow. "They can't break our truth." Her indomitable spirit a beacon. Nathan's grip on her shoulder resolute. "We end this now." Mama, their bond a fortress. The FBI's operation was a lightning bolt. Carla's team raiding a precinct basement, disarming a timed explosive hidden in the stage's framework, its wires a deadly snare, capturing Gaines and her conspirators, a Union treasurer confessing under pressure. Laura ordered the widow's death, his words a bombshell, aired live as the ceremony began, the crowd gasping, veterans tightening their protective ring, their voices thundering. Esther stands. Esther took the stage, her voice a wildfire. "They tried to bomb our truth, but we rise stronger." Her words live-streamed, millions watching, a black veteran embracing her. "You're our queen." Her tears a spark. Nathan beside her, his voice a steady flame. "My mother's honor, my father's sacrifice. This law is their victory." His courage a beacon, a Latina elder shouting, "Nathan's our warrior." The ceremony was a triumph. The Williams Act hailed as a shield for the vulnerable, council members pledging funds for community oversight, CNN framing Esther and Nathan as titans, their bank video a global icon. But a shadow lingered. Evans, released pending appeal, approached Esther's home, his face etched with remorse. "I want to make it right." His plea a wavering thread, but a precinct loyalist, tied to Gaines, trailed him, a knife glinting. "Traitor." The threat a hiss. Carla's team intercepting the attacker, saving Evans, his redemption a flicker under siege. The precinct was a fractured battlefield. Officers reeling, some inspired by the act, joined Sarah Kim's reform training, while Gaines's allies faced arrests, their union's lies, the acts of betrayal drowned by public fury, right-wing media's smears. Williams is a con fading, #Williams Act surging. David Kim's probe uncovered a 2013 extortion by Holt, buried by Gaines. The evidence sealing federal charges. Carla warning Nathan, "They're broken, but one spark could reignite." The bomb plot's failure a crack in their armor, but their vengeance a blade yet to be sheathed. Esther met with Sarah Nguyen, her voice soft. Let Samuel's story live. Her alliance with Nathan, Marcus, Sarah, and Carla a rock. The bank a crucible where betrayal had sparked a war. Esther's honor a legacy Nathan would die to defend. The Williams Act at dawn, but the fight burned on. Evans' redemption a flicker, his old allies plotting in shadows. Esther and Nathan's courage a flame poised to burn through a system's lies or face a final, deadly reckoning. Their movement at a firestorm ready to reshape justice or be consumed by the last betrayal. The whispers of truth, a clarion that demanded redemption and delivered retribution. A widow's honor, a legacy that would not be silenced. The bank's marble steps, once marred by Esther Williams' fall, now shimmered under a twilight sky, transformed into a sacred stage where a bronze monument stood a statue of a black widow in a yellow blazer, her hand outstretched, inscribed Esther Williams, Truth's Matriarch, a testament to her resilient spirit that had forged the Williams Act, a federal law mandating transparent citizen checks and bias training, its impact rippling across a nation awakened by her courage. Esther stood before a throng of thousands, her silver hair a crown, her yellow skirt catching the evening's glow, her voice a resonant hymn. We turned theft into triumph, pain into power. Her words live-streamed to millions, sparking hashtag Honor Esther to echo globally. Black, Latino, and white allies roaring, joined by veterans. Their signs of vibrant sea, led by Reverend Alicia Carter and activist Lena Ruiz, whose chants Esther's law endures rang like a clarion. Nathan Williams, her special forces son, stood beside her, his lean frame a quiet bulwark, his dark eyes alight with pride. His video, the spark that exposed Carl Evans and Michael Holt's robbery, now a global icon. His vow to restore his mother's honor, rooted in her decades of silent sacrifice for a husband and sons lost to war, a flame that had burned through a system's lies. Mayor James Thornton hailed the act. Esther and Nathan are our moral beacon. But Esther's gaze swept the crowd, her heart wary of the final shadow that had nearly snuffed their light, a last betrayal that tested her unyielding resolve. The precinct, once a stronghold of corruption, was reborn Evans and Holt's convictions. Alongside the arrests of their allies for the bank robbery and the bomb plot at the ceremony, had gutted the old guard. FBI agent Carla Reyes's probe exposing a web of buried complaints and payoffs, leading to federal indictments against 30 officers and union leaders. Their downfall of public purging. The Williams Act took root: civilian oversight boards, mandatory body cam audits, anti-bias training led by Lieutenant Sarah Kim, and mental health programs. With 90% of officers enrolled, their culture shifting from defiance to accountability, new recruits inspired by Maria Sanchez, whose whistleblowing had fueled the fire. The precinct's trust soaring, complaints plummeting. But a final, lethal strike emerged. Deputy Chief Victor Klein, a high-ranking union official who'd shielded Evans for years, orchestrated an assassination attempt on Esther, hiring a sniper to strike at the monument unveiling, aiming to silence her movement and mask his embezzlement of union funds. Uncovered by Carla's team through a decrypted ledger, the sniper arrested minutes before firing. Klein's confession: I funded the bomb. The attack's a thunderclap, aired live as Esther spoke, her voice drowning the last gasp of treachery. They tried to kill our truth, and they failed. Klein's arrest exposed a hidden slush fund, crushing the union's remnants. Their defeat a testament to the movement's might. The community was a stronghold. Donations to the Reform Fund hit $1. $5 million, funding veteran scholarships and community patrols, a Black-owned bookstore gifting Esther a plaque, our matriarch, while Alicia's choir sang at rallies. Lena's coalition slashed arrests through dialogue, CNN framing Esther and Nathan as titans. Their bank standoff, a global symbol. Nationally, we saw them, the Williams Act transformed public spaces. Harassment cases dropping, civilians empowered, while cities adopted Esther's model, a Senate bill expanding oversight. Esther's speeches at global forums, her voice a UN stage cementing her as a revolutionary. Nathan's courage inspiring youth, a Black teen vowing, I'll serve like Nathan. His words a seed. The precinct's walk-alongs became routine. Officers and residents forging bonds, the monument a pilgrimage site, its bronze gleaming under starlight. Esther met Keisha, a veteran's widow, her embrace fierce. You're our legacy. Keisha's voice iron. You gave us hope. Nathan gave it back. Their bond, a rock, forged in shared loss. Now a beacon of change. Threats lingered, a slashed tire, a hateful note, but Esther faced them with the calm of her bank defiance. Her security a necessity. Nathan's voice a daily anchor. We're unbreakable. Mama, echoing Samuel's dream of justice, the spark that drove their fight. The ceremony's climax was Nathan's medal, a city honor for bravery, his hand steady, his voice clear. I fought for my mother, she's our strength. The crowd thundering, a Latino veteran embracing him. You're our son. Esther spoke last, her voice a quiet storm. This is for every widow, every silence we broke. Her words a vow, veterans saluting, activists weeping, the monument's shadow a testament to a system reborn. The precinct was a lighthouse, its officers patrolling with purpose, the statue a symbol of a legacy won. Esther and Nathan's fight a clarion that had pierced the silence, a truth that forced a nation to kneel. Esther stood by the monument, touching its bronze, her bruises a memory, her strength a blueprint, the movement of fire that had burned away complicity, leaving a dawn of justice. A warning carved in the statue's base, the silent, within and beyond the system, must answer to the truth, or fall, a matriarch's legacy eternal. From a widow's betrayal to a law in her name, Esther and Nathan's fight unveiled justice. Thank you for watching, like, share, and subscribe to never miss a story. Hit the bell for our latest videos and join us in honoring a matriarch's redemption.